Hello, this is a demonstration of the gauge adapter I made out of a Arduino Uno and some discrete custom analog electronics. What it does is it adapts standard pressure transducers that you can buy off of eBay and all sorts of other places, Granger, whatnot, to the NA Miata oil pressure gauge. So this board accepts 4 different pressure transducer inputs, and with some switches that I run to a rotary switch in the center console, I can switch between the 4 different pressure transducers. Right now I plan on monitoring engine oil pressure, turbo oil pressure, fuel pressure, and the 4th one was rear fuel pressure in front of the fuel filter. And so with that switch, I can get a stock looking gauge readout that's accurate of those various pressures. One of the challenges associated with this Miata gauge is that it's a resistive divider. The sensor element that it's typically connected to is a resistive sensor that varies resistance with pressure. The pressure is inversely proportional. The resistance is inversely proportional with pressure, so that means that the resistance drops as pressure increases. But one of the challenging things about this gauge is that it is dependent upon the battery voltage, and the NA, especially the early NA Miatas, utilize a voltage regulator that's built into the alternator, and it has a fairly significant thermal dependence or sensitivity to it. So I've seen anywhere from just over 12 volts to in excess of 14.2 volts under normal operating conditions. And what that does is it causes the gauge to move all over the place depending on the source voltage. So what I've done is this little widget here compensates for the changes in battery voltage. So what I'm going to show here is we've got the current that we're draining or drawing from the oil pressure sensor pin on the gauge assembly. We've got the simulated battery voltage here. I can run this through various test modes where I can have it set itself to 30, 45, 60, or 15 psi. Right now it's set to be at 30 psi. So as you can see, when I vary the battery voltage, the needle stays essentially in the same place for the pressure that was set. So I think in the application, the amount of variance that I get there is probably going to be acceptable. From a normal operating gauge standpoint, you could see this thing vary by probably 30 psi over this range. So battery voltage of 11.6 to say 14.8, the needle pretty much stays right where it's set. Until next time.